If they say they're going to do something, they need to do it.
You know, we've all been taught that a promise is a promise, and you're only as good as your word. Such platitudes sound good on paper, but often in real life, their lofty ideals just don't seem to hold much weight. And that's how residents of Wayne County, Utah, have been feeling for the past 12 years, as a promised temporary land closure has become all but permanent. Now, here between the small towns of Hanksville and Caneville, 45 minutes south of I-70, uncertainty has reigned for more than a decade.
Factory Butte has been used by the OHV community for years and years. In 2006, the BLM did a temporary closure because of some endangered cactus that they say it was here. These endangered cactus actually got listed before the BLM got their study done. These cactus are everywhere, but it's still closed today. With the infrastructure that's been put in, it's supposed to be opened back up, but it hasn't happened yet.
This area kind of has a special meaning to people in Wayne County. With roads closed and restrictions on certain things, I have a good friend that's disabled and he wants access, and so do other people want access.
The original open area of Factory Butte encompassed almost 150,000 acres. Several populations of winkler and right fishhook cactus were discovered in 1999, and they were studied for 7 years prior to the closure. Originally, the BLM stated the temporary closure would allow land managers the chance to better determine which areas around the butte would remain closed, this was to protect the cacti, and which would be reopened. The sector known as Swing Arm City still offered cross-country travel, but at a mere 2,600 acres. Locals were shocked. Even so, community leaders like Dennis Blackburn held out hope a final decision would be handed down quickly, and at least some of the beloved desert would be restored to them. Now, more than 10 years later, their patience is wearing thin.
The soil that's around here, you can come in, you can ride, you can make all the tracks. At the very next rainstorm, it is right back to its natural. It looks like nobody's even been there. It's one of the best places around for this type of use.
In order for that use to ever potentially return, Western representatives are hoping riders and visitors to the Butte will make their voices heard. If enough people share their thoughts, both for open areas and species protection, they may finally get the conclusion they've been waiting for.
Well, it doesn't hurt to write some letter to the congressmen who serve in Washington, D.C. and contact the Department of Interior. The main thing people can do to hurt the situation and to get roads closed is to abuse the roads when there are signs that say to stay on the trails and stay on the roads, to go off-road and cut trails where they're not supposed to be, and to abuse the opportunity to use these roads.
Right now, 220 miles of roads exist along the edges of the Butte, with Swing Arm City still open to cross-country fun. Now, that likely will remain unchanged until a final decision is reached. Despite Factory Butte's unresolved status, Wayne County officials are confident that the future is bright, no matter how things turn out.
We go from the desert here to the red rocks, to the mountains, to the lakes, to the streams, and you'll never meet a better bunch of people than what you meet in Wayne County.
Okay, a promise is a promise. And they're hoping it won't be another 12 years before the fate of Factory Butte is finally resolved. From the trailhead, I'm Terry Wood.